Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to Coffee with Eddie. This is Eddie Campos with Remax Preferred Associates, and today is episode 98. We are interviewing Toledo Mayor Wade Kapszukiewicz, and we're going to ask him what the number 162,000 means to him. I was at the State of the City. What does 162,000 mean to the people of Toledo?
Well, unfortunately, what 162,000 represents is quite literally, and we counted them, the number of potholes that we had in our city last year. 162,000. It is amazing. It was, I think it might have been April or May last year. It was kind of spring of 2019. And we had a terrible winter. Make no mistake. Remember how much snow we had? Remember how cold it got? Right. We had that day where it was 21 below zero, and then maybe 3 days later it was in the 60s.
And New Year's Eve was like 13 below.
Right, but then it got warm really quickly. So look, basic science will tell you when you have that kind of weather, you're going to get some potholes. And Toledo's not the only city with potholes. Look, from Chicago to Boston to Milwaukee to Minneapolis, wherever you have snow and ice and things of that nature, you're going to have potholes. That's fine. But I looked around and felt that we had more than our share, and we had a real problem. So I decided to approach it a little differently. We went all in, took about 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks, and basically said, I took some crews off of alley cleaning, I took some crews off of sewer work, and we said for the next 6 weeks, 8 weeks, we're doing nothing other than filling potholes. And actually, did a great job. We measure everything in this office. I'm very data-driven. We look at best practice, we measure, we benchmark. And so I can tell you that we were getting quite a few complaints about our potholes in April and May. By the end of this blitz, literally, no one was complaining, and that I take a lack of complaint as the closest we get to a pat on the back in this business. So there's no doubt they did a great job. But the way we approached it allowed us to count the potholes. Normally, we fill potholes on a complaint basis. Because of the situation we faced, I made the decision, we're not merely responding to complaints. We are going to drive be proactive. Every road. There are 1,100 roads in the city, I learned. We drove up every one of those 1,100 roads, back and forth, and we told our crews, when you see a pothole, fill it. Doing it that way, and only doing it that way, allowed us to count how many we had. And so at the end of this blitz, at the beginning of the blitz, we thought that we'd find about 50,000 potholes. That was our guess. We did not find 50,000 potholes. We found 162,000 potholes. Triple what we thought there was going to be, and we thought there was going to be a lot. We are making progress as a city. We are. But we're just nowhere where we need to be. And one of the reasons I think that issue 1, which is going to be on the ballot March 17th, has so much support, is because issue 1, it will be the mechanism whereby we can fix our roads once and for all. It is going to free up almost $500 million over 10 years to fix our roads once and for all. We're going to spend 10 times the amount of money than we typically do on residential road repair. We're going to spend quadruple what we spent in our world record-setting program. We are going to resurface, quite literally, almost 50 times more residential roads than we typically do. And most importantly, a provision of issue 1 is that this new money for roads must be spent on roads. It cannot be redirected back to the general fund. This new capital money must be spent on capital projects like roads. And I think that is that's the part of this proposal that will provide the trust needed for our voters to support this. And I think they will, because at the end of the day, nobody wants to live in a city with 162,000 potholes.
Well, as a residential realtor and someone who works with relocation clients that are just coming into our community, whether I'm picking them up at Toledo Express or the Detroit airport, our roads are the gateway to our city. It says a lot about what our city's doing. So I truly appreciate what that's going to do for the look of our city. Thank you. Thanks for tuning in to Coffee with Eddie. If you'd like to find out more or watch more videos, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn.